Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ross Rosenberg. I'm the author of The Human Magnet Syndrome and the creator of the Codependency Cure. Consider this an introduction to a video that I posted about 3 years ago. It was entitled, I See Narcissists Everywhere. I use the movie The Sixth Sense and the boy's unique skill, talent, gift, curse to see dead people to illustrate how people, when they get healthy, when they experience self-love abundance, they can see narcissists everywhere. But the reason I am rolling this out again, my messages have changed over the last couple of years. Back then, I was much more focused on narcissists and codependence. Over the last couple of years, it's been on overcoming narcissistic abuse by understanding its origins. And that's where I came up with the term self-love deficit disorder to replace the term codependency. And you'll learn more about it in this video. But I wanted to introduce it. One is, I'm going to look a lot younger. Two is, I think those who didn't see it the last time around will really appreciate the content. And for those who saw it, it's a great reminder. So I hope you enjoy it. And if you do, or if you don't, leave some comments, because the comments are gold. People love to talk about these issues and get support or even feedback from you guys. Thank you. Welcome to my latest YouTube video. I'm going to start this video with a quote from one of my favorite movies called The Sixth Sense.
I want to tell you my secret now. I see narcissists.
In your dreams? While you're awake?
Walking around like regular people. We don't see each other. They only see what they want to see. They don't know they're narcissistic.
How often do you see them?
All the time. They're everywhere.
Since I've made so much progress on my in self-love recovery, which is the treatment protocol, the treatment program that I created for self-love deficit disorder, that once you get to a certain point of self-love abundance, you start to see the world differently. And it is really amazing. And in some ways, it's a little bit disturbing. And I'm going to talk about the disturbing part today. But first, the amazing stuff. When you overcome your self-love deficiency or your self-love deficit disorder and connect to self-love abundance, you not only are not attracted to narcissists anymore, but you can recognize them. The human magnet syndrome changes, and the attraction to the old attraction doesn't work anymore. But when you solved the primary problems responsible for SLDD, which of course you guys have heard by now in many a video, if you think of my SLDD pyramid, at the foundation is the attachment trauma. From the attachment trauma is the core shame, feeling fundamentally broken. From the core shame is pathological loneliness. This existential void is painful, searingly painful, dreadfully painful loneliness. From that loneliness pain comes, we go to the need to self-medicate to get rid of the pain. That's the SLDD addiction, or the codependency addiction. And that's where you fall in love with the narcissist, because who else are you going to find if you're an SLD? In the human magnet syndrome always works in that direction. And at the top of the pyramid is SLDD, or codependency. So my point is, once you solve those problems in psychotherapy, in your own recovery, you become self-love abundant. That's the codependency cure. And some really cool things happen. You start to recognize narcissists everywhere. In fact, I created the saying, I call it my my narcometer. You have a narcometer that is installed. I say that metaphorically because no one installs a narcometer, but there's this internal feeling, this Geiger counter of sorts that goes off when you're around narcissists. The SLA, or self-love abundant, has this feeling of discomfort and anxiety around narcissists, which is the opposite of the human magnet syndrome of when they were in SLD, because when they're around narcissists, then they want some of that. Wow, she's hot, she's beautiful, he's charming, he's bold, he's charismatic, and you want that. That's the dance. That's the SLD narcissist dance. But when you're in self-love abundance, all of a sudden, you have these alarms go off, and you just want to like run, it's like, and your narcometer, starts buzzing, or maybe yours has an alarm. Mine actually has this sense of feeling to my stomach where it gets really tight. And what happens is you see them everywhere. And I know this is not just me. The people that have reached self-love abundance who have overcome codependency or self-love deficit disorder, they tell me the same thing, that everywhere they go, they see people on that continuum, my relationship compatibility continuum. There's always going to be someone who's more of a caregiver, and always someone who's going to be more of a care needer. Not necessarily pathological, but the world fits on that continuum. And when you're at a party, you're at work, and if there is a pathological narcissist, it's you can't miss it. One is your narcometer is going to go off, and you're going to feel uncomfortable. That's why I say I see narcissists everywhere. Or as the kid said in The Sixth Sense, I see dead people. You can't escape it. Now, I'm not necessarily saying this is a bad deal. In fact, I think this is something to aspire to. This is something to be motivated to achieve, because it's not so bad spotting the narcissist wherever they go. Because when you're with a narcissist and you can predict what they're going to do, you stay out of harm's way. Now, I'm not suggesting that just because you can see all these narcissists and your narcometer goes off all the time, that you should do something about it. Quite the contrary. In fact, if say you go to a party, or say you're at work, or say you're in a business dealing, and your narcometer goes off, and there's one, maybe several narcissists, maybe a room full of narcissists, you have the option to use my observe, don't absorb technique, or just merely kind of disconnect and watch the circus. Watch the clowns be clowns, the monkeys be monkeys, the circus animals. Let them be who they are and stay disconnected from it while being in the circus as much as you need to be or is required. And so when you walk into a room and there's a bunch of narcissists and you're at a party and your narcometer goes off and you're able to go, okay, narcissist, codependent, or SLD, narcissist, SLD, narcissist, looking for an SLD, SLD, narcissist, they're going to get together by the end of the night. SLD, not compatible. You kind of have an opportunity to weigh and evaluate your environment. And so you want to have a good time. So having a good time would not require you calling everyone out. Plus, don't do that. That's only going to the narcissist, make the SLDs uncomfortable, and result in you being quite unpopular. But what it does is it helps you orientate yourself toward your environment and the people in which you're interacting with, so that when you're talking to the narcissist, you let them talk a little bit more than you normally would want to talk yourself, and you don't get yourself upset. You're practicing the observe, don't absorb technique, and what happens is you can have a good time because you're in a circus that has these monkeys and these clowns, and they're not regular people. If they were regular people, you'd be disappointed. So you go to parties, you go to business events, you let the narcissist be who they are. As long as you have good boundaries and you know how to keep them from hurting you, you just kind of watch it, kind of let it wash over you. And I promise you, you can have a good time. Your evenings are not ruined. You just have to shift mentally and emotionally and let them be who they are and know that you have to play into this, for lack of a better word, circus routine for a short period of time. Because I'm not advocating that you lower your standards and your boundaries, but don't let them upset you. Walk away if they start doing narcissistic, actions, make narcissistic comments, and go to another side of the room or another place in the building, or just find a safe place where you don't have to be around narcissists. And then when you get your breath back, you get your focus back, go back into the party, go back into the group, because we can't escape the narcissist. They're all over the place. Remember the kid in Sixth Sense? I see dead people. Well, I see narcissists. They're everywhere. By the way, I also see SLDs, and I see healthy people, and I see people that are getting healthier. So don't get me wrong, but I promise you, once you start to learn this human magnet syndrome stuff, if I can call my work stuff, and my codependency cure stuff, and you start to achieve some level of self-recovery, you're going to see narcissists everywhere. And there should be a secret society of people who see narcissists everywhere. You're going to enjoy life more than ever. You're not going to be activated by the narcissist. You're not going to get in the wrestling ring. As I talk about the wrestling ring a lot in my Observe and Absorb work. I think it was George Bernard Shaw said, never wrestle with pigs because you're going to get dirty. Besides that, pigs love to wrestle. Well, if you are in a Dunkin' Donuts or a Starbucks and there's a narcissist in front of you, or for that matter, behind you, just watch them be narcissists. Let them be in their own circus, and just make sure you don't you don't participate in it. I promise you, your life is going to be so much better. So, I guess in closing, or I should say, and it's a little bit paradoxical, the fact that you can see narcissists everywhere, and you have this narcometer that is loyal to your mental health, your emotional health, your new self-love abundance, and it goes off, and keep batteries in it. And I probably can do something with that analogy, but I'll do that later. No, actually, I'll do it now. The batteries for your narcometer is taking care of yourself. What keeps your narcometer working is self-love. So your batteries require self-love brand batteries. But so with the narcometer and with the narcissist everywhere, at worst you're amused and a little bit annoyed, but at best, no one's messing with you. You just are able to stay free from being triggered, from being activated, from being pulled into their wrestling ring, to being pulled into their own drama. So I welcome all of you to see narcissists everywhere, and I promise you will. Just work on your self-love deficiency, work towards self-love abundance, and you're going to be like that little Joel Haley Osment character. You can see the narcissist, dead people everywhere. The difference is you're not going to be tormented. You're going to live life feeling free from their control, and you're going to enjoy the happiness of yourself. So with that, I close with,
I see narcissists.
I see narcissists everywhere, and that's good. And you might be able to see them too. And I look forward to hearing from you in the comments if you yourself, with your own self-love abundance or your work towards it, are also seeing them everywhere and feeling better because of it. So be well, and don't let the narcissist bring you down. And definitely don't join the circus. Take care, and I'll talk to you later.